Welcome guys. How are we all today? Hope we're all doing well, guys, and as always, I'm the show on the road. So good morning, good afternoon, very good evening, no matter where you are around the world. Just kill the music a bit. Different playlist today, so I don't know, let's see if we get a strike with this one. I probably will, but anyway, it's worth giving it a crack. So yeah, that's something different. Guys, in the meantime, if you've not already done so, if you could, sorry to keep asking, but if you could hit the like button, it really does help to get the algorithm ticking over. So it is a must. It's just a free way to help support the stream. So if you could do so, that'd be much appreciated. And anyway, guys, without further ado, we can get into the analysis. And let's have a look first of all at the news. So there is some high impact news for the pound to come shortly, with GDP to come. So forecast is for it to be greater than the previous, so that would be, I would have thought, good for currency strength. Let's just see what it says. Changing total value of goods and services produced by the economy. Actual greater than forecast is good for currency yet. So there we go. So we'll need to obviously keep an eye on that in regards to the pound, trading the pound moving forward. But anyway, guys, I hope you've all had a good week. It's been a tough one, not gonna lie. But it's early doors, still the new year, guys. There's still a lot of water to go under the bridge. So yeah, so we'll get it all back. But nonetheless, let's do the analysis and let's start with the gold. and have a look at the weekly time frame. And we have obviously broken the high of that previous weekly candle. Spent a lot of the early part of the week trading a lower wick, and we have since obviously flipped, broken the high of that previous weekly candle, and we are moving to the upside. So let's just mark in the current weekly candles high. Let's see what we've got above that point, and we can move on to the daily time frame. Onto the daily, and what we do have is a high, low, high, high. We've got also a very strong candle closure on that previous daily candle, closing above the resistance here to the left hand side. Once again, creating a higher low within price action and a higher high. So based off that, still looks like we could continue potentially to the upside, but the current daily high looks like we've got some clean traffic to the left on the higher time frame. Let's just also mark in the current daily candles low, and we'll see what we've got below that level. So we know at below we're back at that resistance. So if we will begin to pop below, we're probably going to likely want to see some minor time frame closures below, retest, and then look for continuation if that is to be the case. So because based off that, we start to be popping further back below that previous daily resistance. Structurally, again, not so worried about the structure anymore on the daily time frame. It is technically bearish, but we are trending to the upside with counter probabilities to the upside. Now onto the 4-hour time frame, and look, you still technically bearish, believe it or not, on this particular broker, depending on what broker you are using to chart on TradingView. But on this particular one, Forex.com, it's bearish. I know on others it is bullish, so I'm just going off what I see here. And we're again tapping into this resistance, which is that daily level, rejecting perhaps some of this support to the left, but what followed that was a nice clean move down. So once again, if we begin to break the daily high, I see scope for price to potentially come all the way up towards that 2720 sort of region. Now, as far as support, I mean, the most recent support is 2682. But as we can see, we're hovering above a previous resistance here to the left. So, whoops, so long as we remain above that resistance, I feel there's a high probability that we'll eventually make the move back up and potentially retest the high and continue to the upside. Onto the 30-minute, and that is, again, you can argue it's technically bearish. So look, you can argue, guys, the actual bias on gold, if you were to look at it in terms of structure, it's technically bearish, but doesn't mean I wouldn't be interested in buying it, because the weekly is flip bullish, and over the grand scheme of things, the higher time frame picture definitely is in an uptrend. All right, so we're going to add some levels just here. That's the resistance at the daily high. Let's see what we've got to the left above it. Clean traffic. So we're definitely considering, I will be definitely interested in looking for buys above the high. Now, if I've learned anything so far from this week, I need to wait for closures until I can trust the impulse entries again, because they just have not been working whatsoever on gold. It's been too choppy. It's been very volatile, but not really made any sustained moves. I've tried to get involved in impulse entries anyway, so I'm going to be waiting more patiently, definitely, for closures. Now, as far as support, let's see what we've got in the 15. I'm gonna mark that level in. And what we can see below that point, we've got some pretty clean traffic. So for me on gold today, what I'm going to be doing is waiting for price to quickly go back to the 30. Yeah, so whether we come back up, I would say anywhere below 27 flat. If we were to come back up and reject, then I'd be looking for a price action catalyst for the sells from the resistance around that weekly high. So like so, just depending on whether it pops up a little bit higher or rejects that little bit lower down, the most recent swing point around that 2698 sort of region. That would be, so it's basically anywhere below that 2700 flat, 2702 sort of region that I'd be looking for my price action catalyst for a sell from the highs. Further sell options below this 15-minute support, I just I'll just do that now so we can also follow up on 30. So 15/30. If we were to pop below 26.90, got some clean traffic to the left. At that point there, I think there's a high probability. There'll be a high probability we could come back down towards the support formed a little bit lower down, the 4-hour level formed during yesterday's candle around at 26.82 to 78 sort of region, where we could look obviously for buy options from if we did get the right confirmation to do so. Seeing it's just sort of well, again, technically you can argue bias is bearish, but I look at it on the higher time frame, and to me it's still in a big uptrend gold. So based off that, I'd be happy to look for the buys if we were to respect that 4-hour support a little bit lower down. I'd also consider a limit order buy from within the zone. It's just having a look at that on a few different pairs today, and the amount of times it would have worked, and on gold as well. It's just, yeah, it's crazy. So I will consider limit order buy. I may even consider a limit order sell from the highs. Gotta be a bit careful of that if we are approaching with a lot of volume though. So that is gold, guys. Hopefully that did make some sense. If it did, you guys know the drill. It's only 8 likes, guys. We need to get it up. That's all I ask. All I ask. Show some love by hitting that like button, support the stream. Let's get other viewers onto the stream. All right, so there's nothing for me on gold right now. I know the 30 is about to close bullish, but it's pretty much back into a bit of a choppy mess, and especially in the 15. So for me, there's no real entry right now. Let's just see above this minor 15-minute resistance what margin there is. There's a bit, but we're not above it either way. So for me to maybe consider an entry right now, I would have liked to have seen a 30-minute engulfing, because that would have closed this above the 15-minute resistance, which is not doing so. So let's take a look at GJ, guys. And looks like it's continuing on with the downtrend. Let's take a look at it now on the weekly, and we're back down near that support. So remaining bearish within the current weekly candle, so that means any pullback so far has been met by resistance, and we'll keep heading back down. Just at a very tricky level though, obviously leaving long wicks to the downside and to the support to the left. No upper wick on the current daily, so let's just mark that point in and see what we have above that point there. Structurally, it is technically bearish on GJ. It's also technically bearish. I don't think much has changed in regards to the structure and bias itself. Popping back above the support here to the left. We've just recently formed a support only an hour ago. We'll mark that level in. Change that to grey. We've also the resistance at the daily high. We'll mark that level in and move on to the 30-minute. Actually, let's look at the 4-hour to the downside. So below the current daily low, looks like we've got some pretty clean traffic as well. So that could provide some potential sell options. Pretty sure on the 30 we got some clean traffic as well. Just quickly look at that. Yeah, it's relatively clean. It's definitely enough to secure some pips anyway. So yeah, continuation sells below low, seeing we are trending bearish. 30-minute time frame is definitely bearish, and we've pretty much now just confirmed that lower high yet again. So if we were to approach these lows and begin to pop below it, then I'd be definitely keen on selling it. Impulse entries are going to be a little bit difficult due to this massive wick, so it's a very large zone. So unless it closes right near the bottom of it, probably wait for closures. But I will consider impulse entries if we do approach in the correct manner. Now, further sell options. Obviously, if we do reject the 191.60 sort of region, remain bearish in structure on the 30-minute time frame, then that would make sense for us to look for sells on if they pull back now. We've got the 4-hour closing bullish, the previous 4-hour candle. We're now forming a little bit of structure. So yes, we're technically bearish, but we have that 4-hour candle closing bullish. We've created that support in the 4-hour. We're now pulling back to create the current 4 hours lower wick, and we're also potentially creating a leg within the micro trend. So if we do pull back now to create that higher low, even if it's to happen just here, or may pull back a little bit further down, then depending how we form support at this point, if we do respect these lows, we could potentially look for a buy from that point there, or we could also look for the buy above the most recent resistance form, seeing we do have that clean traffic to the left. At that point, they'd be breaking the current 4 hour candle side, which does already have a high low, high high to the previous. So definitely be considering it. Buy above that 199.4 sort of region, and potentially the buys from lower down, guys. I will consider the buys so long as we respect this support, and as long as I get a really strong price action catalyst to do so, then I may consider the buys from back down at the 4 hour support. So that is a GJ, guys. Some of you may be in sells just now, hopefully, because you've been in some decent profit. I'm not. I was not on the chart for that. Yeah, not sure we're taking it either way, but that is GJ, guys. So hopefully it all makes sense. And yeah, now we just gotta wait. So the preference right now, focus. Well, they're both a little way off an entry, to be honest. Gold might be a little bit closer to an entry. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on gold, and obviously if DJ does anything, we'll look through. Right, who we got today? So welcome Beats, as always. Good morning to you, mate. Tony Gold, good morning. Kyle J Smith, gold morning. Hopefully it's a good gold morning. Franco, good morning to you. Jay, good morning, brother. And yeah, welcome everyone else. If you're not, please smash the like button and do say good day. Let's get those likes up to parity. There's only 18. Shouldn't be a tough ask, guys. Only 18 on stream, so my TikTok ban ends in 4 minutes. Aaron, good over to you too, my friend. So I'm not gonna lie, guys, it's been a tricky start to the year. Not been a favorable one, that's for sure. It's not been a good start. We had GDP, didn't we? Sorry guys, I totally missed that. So how did it come out? So the pound has just dropped. Alright, so it came out less than the forecast, but still greater than the previous. Still is on the increase. It's a bit of a mixed bag by the looks of it. For the majority, for the most part, the figures came out negative in compared to the forecast. But by the looks of it, the most part that come out better than the previous. Apart from a few. So a bit of a mixed bag in a pound. It's not really done much. Let's take a look at GU to see if it's had much of an impact. Same thing, not really done a great deal. Tommy, blast, good morning guys, welcome. Yeah, a bit of a non-event on the pound so far. Same deal as yesterday, guys. If I get the likes up to 50, I'll do a VIP giveaway. All right, gold popping just now. So once again, for me, it's not much I can do about it. Reason being is because my catalyst, I mean, there was no catalyst earlier down, lower down, sorry. Had no engulfing candles against this strong bodied bullish bearish candle. Had no minor resistance being broken or anything like that, so a little bit tricky to get involved, in my personal opinion. But it's all good. We could, again, just wait for price to do its thing and potentially look for a rejection for a sell. Tell me all good, man. Not a problem. Sounds good. Must be hanging for it. Sorry guys, see if I can start the TikTok stream. It's tough on a laptop, man. When I'm overseas and working with the VIP and that, a real pain in the ass on the laptop, to be honest. But I make do. All right, so the ban is officially over on the tickety talk. I'm gonna fix one or two things and get that show on the road. Good day to you. Welcome. Lau, good morning to you. Appreciate you guys. Same faces. You guys are legends. Beats Gold is on its way to New York midnight open. Oh, is it just? So I'm assuming it's somewhere around here. I don't know, open dodgy websites on TikTok. Yeah, if someone asks me for advice, I just say, just watch the stream, my friend. That's it. I haven't started yet. Yeah, TikTok's just crazy with its violations. That, well, no idea what I'm violating, but oh, I don't blame you, to be honest. Nor would I if it wasn't good for streaming. But the fact of the matter is, I get a lot bigger numbers on TikTok than what I get on YouTube. So. Alright, so I am now live on TikTok. We'll see if I can't go without getting myself banned again. So guys, how have you found the beginning of this year? Be honest with me, because I'm not gonna lie, I found it very tricky. I've not had a good start. It's been my worst start in many a year, to be honest. Yeah, it's been very tricky. The volatility's been there, but a lot of the moves have, I mean, a lot of the moves that I've taken that would, you know, come with the right sort of catalysts for me have just not worked. But what I've found is that pretty much every one of them's gone to about 6 to 7 pip profit before reversing quickly. So it's a bit disappointing because, I mean, yesterday's one looked really good. Yesterday's trade looked like it was going to make the move. It was about 6 pips up. Took one later with members on pound yen, same thing. Had 7 pips on the table, looked really good. 6-7 pips that pop into profit without any drawdown very quickly, and then just completely took off in the other direction. So it happens. Once again, I look at it thinking, well, am I doing anything wrong? But not really, to be honest. I mean, 1 or 2 are impulse entries, but for the most part, I'm just sticking to what works for me. Trying to test it over the past few years. So I know it will turn, so there's no need to go changing anything. Just let it run its course. And, you know, eventually those near wins will turn to wins, and you'll be obviously in a much better way, in better shape. So I'm just missing a bigger display more than anything. So, yeah, I understand it's a pain on one little laptop's screen. Sorry. Told me 2 losses on them gold idea I had. Oh, okay. Currently in a short for 2,700. Yep, I understand exactly why you're in a short for 2,700. TikTok, g'day to all you guys. So yeah, back from the little ban. Been okay, Cole. Nice one. But found I've had to use bigger stops. Yeah, see, that's the other issue. I mean, yesterday's trade for the members, I could not have managed that any better. I was very happy with the management. I only took a 6 pip loss in the end because of the trade management, and it ended up going completely against us after being about 6 or 7 pips in profit. So gold popping, that's all right. So we're going to see how price reacts to the resistance. We're approaching with a fair bit of steam. And wait for confirmations. Yeah, definitely need to wait for confirmations. Beats, yes, it's been messy. But I don't really scalp, so it's a little different. Yeah, that's obviously going to bigger stop losses and wider targets as well. Well, I don't understand why you don't get more on Gbpjpy. Yeah, every time I have to look you up anything I want to watch, they don't put it up, even if I'm I have no idea why, and this is something I changed to my editor and the guy who's he's working on all that sort of stuff in the background, social media stuff, and that's the most important thing. And I had a look at it the other day too, and it just wasn't showing anyway, and I will laugh at me, don't know why. So it's frustrating, really frustrating, but I appreciate the support nonetheless. Aaron hopefully settles down after Trump's inauguration. Yep. Yeah, it would be nice if it did, but I've got a feeling it won't. Rank this year has been pretty good, roughly 25%. Wow, forward testing a strategy, that's good. Sounds like it's working well. Yeah, Paul, honestly, I was the same. I had to just type in my YouTube channel to find anything, which is very frustrating. Thank you for the follow, TikTok. Welcome to everyone who is currently watching. Young Kid, Harold, Chili B, I am. Everyone else, feel free to ask questions, guys. Just gotta be very careful how I answer them, because I think that's what got me banned last time. Also, YouTube, TikTok, any pairs you'd like me to look at, I will happily do so. Let's keep it to Forex, unless it's like Bitcoin or ETH, some of the crypto majors, but I'm not going to look at some meme coin or anything like that. There's just no point. All right, so the 30 is still obviously open and it's forming quite a strong bullish candle. 15 is currently rejecting. Don't have any minor support just yet that we may be breaking, so there's nothing just yet. There's nothing on a 5-minute as well, so it's just going to require a little bit more data. And GJ, seeing we've just had some news, just going to let it do its thing for a little bit. Structurally, it's still looking pretty good though. If we do confirm that higher low just now and begin to pop above 199.40, there could be potential options moving forward. TikTok, if you could, make sure to follow. Want to get to that goal of 2,000 quickly. We got to 1,000 pretty quickly. There we go. Thank you, Money Seatamol. Interesting name. Matt, thank you. Big Bro, so is it still buying gold at the moment? Well, it's tapped into a target. I had no real confirmation personally to take a buy. So it's could reject this level, but the thing is I don't have any confirmation just yet to give me a reason to sell it. I need to wait for closures, need to be disciplined and wait for some sort of confirmation. I will consider a limit order sell if we pop up a little bit higher potentially, but otherwise I wait for a stronger confirmation and price just tapping into a level. So for the moment, I mean, nothing for me. Not a buy nor a sell. It's the way of the markets. You can't always be involved. Just got to wait patiently for the right time. What time frame are you on, Poppy Chew? Right now, the 30. Gold, I flicked through the 30, 15, and 5. Starting at the higher time frame, that being the weekly and daily, just to see their direction. 4 hour as well, just to see where we're at. If we're at a 4 hour level of resistance or support. How the previous 4 hour candle closed. So in this case in gold, it's closed bearish, but we're still respecting some resistance here to the left. And we've now got a higher low, higher high within the current, excuse me, current candle. The issue is we've got some resistance just above, so not the easiest level to be buying it from, in my opinion. So I always say to my guys, irrespective of the bias and structure, always ask yourself, where are we sitting on the charts at the moment? Because if you're at the resistance, there is not much point buying into it. You've got to likely wait for price to either up above the resistance for your options to buy it, or wait for it to come back down yet again, or potential options to buy it from the support, and vice versa for the sell options. So when things are trending, that's when you're more focused on the structure and all that, because you'd rather be trading in line with the structure, and you're knowing you're either looking for continuation entries like so when things are trending nice and strong, or upon continuation, or you're going to be looking for for instance, the continuation entries, or you're going to be looking for the pullbacks to form support, and maybe entering in anticipation is going to create that higher low, seeing it was trending prior to it, and then head back up, create the higher high. Poppy Chew, high time frame is bullish. Yeah, well, the weekly, it's bullish. I think gold's very bullish, to be honest. Daily, the structure itself, the way I determine structure, is technically bearish, but it is forming some high lows, high highs. So within the actual trend itself, it is creating bullish structure. and you got counter probabilities to the upside as well, so that would also, you know, give you more reason to look for potential buys. And also it depends on what broker you're looking at on TradingView, because some structures are a little bit different depending on which broker you're looking at. Thank you for all the follows, guys. 4 hour order block. Okay, fair enough. FX Spectre just took a buy of gold 500 plus. Did you mean plus 500 broker, or Gbpjpy 15-minute order block as well? Yeah, it's obviously at a 30-minute, 15-minute. All right, interesting. We could be performing some 5-minute support just here, with maybe the 15 closing back bearish. Would that give us some potential options on the next M15 for some sales? Trading FX Spectre, trading futures, 500 plus in gold. Okay, fair enough. Dan, Bye, bullish or bearish? Right now, I'm considering some options to get involved in sells. So I'm fluid in the markets. I believe the higher time frame, I believe gold is still in a big uptrend. The way I see it, trading wise, I can see more potential for sells right now. Thank you for all the follows, TikTok. I think FX Spectre, I think we're going to go first for the high, take out the high from the range. Yeah, potentially. That would be good as well, because I could look for sales from higher up, and if we do pop above it, close above it, retest it and pull away from it, we've got some clean traffic as well, so would look for potential buys if that was to be the case. So we've got that minor support now to 5-minute. If this 5-minute closed bearish engulfing, closing the M15 bearish, rejecting this resistance, maybe enough for a small for a sell on gold. Ijan, bullish or bearish, bro? Just mentioned what I'm looking at, potential sells. The comrade, hey bro, can you buy and hold our coins? Yeah, not in Australia, mate. I'm not promoting any coins and like crap, because again, they'll probably give me a ban. I'm gonna be very careful because TikTok just keep having problems with it. So yeah. All right, so I'm watching gold on the 5. 5-minute got some clean traffic as well. So it's all about this current candle, the way it closes on the 5 and the way it closes the 15. It closes the 5-minute bearish engulfing below support. It's going to close the 15 a strong bearish candle. We're going to wait for an upper wick to form on the new M15/30, and could look for potential sells based off that. Gbpjpy? Yeah, I don't trade the 1 minute. Alright, so what I suggest, if you guys are following along and if you agree with it, and again, none of this is financial advice, guys, just all for educational purposes, but what I've been looking at is, at this rate, I'm just following what the lowest point of the current 15 is, and I'll be potentially looking for some sells a couple pips below, but I need the new candle to have an upper wick. That's the deal. New channel has to have an upper wick. Thank you for the follow. The low on IC markets at the moment is 26.9603. So that is the bit low. We closed, as I mentioned before. Now I'll probably be looking for an entry around 883, 26.95, 83 potentially. So we'll keep an eye on it. Let's mark it in where we want it to close. Has to close below that horizontal. Thank you once again for all the follows, guys. TikTok, appreciate it. Got over 50 of you on stream at the moment. If you're not already followed, please do so. Do this daily. If you can't find me, it's because I've been hit with that nasty ban again. And you can have just search me up on YouTube. But no problems over there on YouTube. So I'm streaming simultaneously on both TikTok and YouTube at the moment. All right, so 5 minutes flipping back bullish here. So 30 seconds left. Once again, the rule is it has to close below its horizontal. Chief Khalil, hello to you, mate. Welcome. Yusuf, I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball. All I can do is speculate. That's it. Speculate where I believe it's more probable to move. And at the moment, if it closed below its horizontal, which it's not doing, it would have given me more of a reason to look for a sell, and it hasn't done so. So now I need to chill. We'll close to 15. We'll close to 30 now. A strong bullish candle up below the resistance. Not buy it because of that. Oh, no low wick. This was a bit higher up into that resistance there. I would consider selling it if it popped up a little bit higher in anticipation. It's likely going to create that low wick at some point. But obviously it's now rejecting. GJ is nothing, so we'll just keep it on gold. Unless anyone wants me to look at any other pair. Josh, good morning to you. Just want to pop in and mention yesterday I managed to bag. Nice one, mate. Well done. Well done. Even better if you sent a chart prior to it and explaining what you're looking at prior to any entry, but well done. Nonetheless. As always mentioned, guys, I'm happy when you guys are doing well. But mention when you take a loss as well, because you can't, you're not winning 100% of the time. Paul seems Gbpjpy aren't helping you either. No, not really. The numbers are pretty standard at the moment. What other platforms are there to stream on though? That's the issue. Which I don't think they even have Forex streams on there. Josh will at some point have taken some time away from socials. No, all good, all good. Alright, so I'm not ready to sell at the moment. And again, we're a little bit too high up for me to contemplate buying it. So just need to chill. Something may present, we just need to wait. Patience is the key when it comes to trading. Yusuf, expect a decline to correct the gold market in general bullish. What I would recommend, what I would say today is just have no expectations. and just trade what you see. That's the best way you can go about it, to be honest. Yeah, I really enjoy listening to different economists and podcasts just to hear what their opinions are of the, you know, state of the world economy and things like that. A lot of them predicting gold will continue up. Some are saying it will make a pretty heavy pullback. So it's interesting just to hear the different opinions, but all I can, you know, advise is to trade what you see, not what you expect or anticipate to happen. Really, you just gotta, again, speculate. And the way you can speculate is by looking to the left, to, you know, his historical data to the left, and familiar price action patterns and signals that you are obviously you know, can recognize, and by using your data, which should you know, obviously give you your, you know, your journal, which will have a record of, you know, what trades are more probable. You can even label them what type of trade it was. I do that, and I get a bit of a feel as to what my strengths are, and then I try to play to my strengths and avoid taking no trades that are generally a weakness of mine. So thank you for the followers, TikTok. FX Spectre, please just look at the weekly on gold. Yeah, the weekly looks good to go up. Alright, so the other thing now I could potentially wait for is to see if this 15-minute close is weak bullish, creating that minor support below the resistance. If it does so, seeing we've wicked above it only to reject, perhaps what we've done just here is grab some more liquidity from the market. And if we would begin to break the support on the following candle, then perhaps that might open up an option for a potential sell. So something I will consider on the next M15 candle. If the current candle closed pretty much where it's at, Josh Price is still on the buys at the moment. There hasn't been any confirmation buys for sell, but next week Trump will be president. I can see gold will have a sell off next week. Yeah, look, bullish, bearish. Again, I'm just trading what I'm seeing where we're at on the chart. Personally, I think it's in a big uptrend still. But yeah, obviously right now we're at some resistance. I'm not going to be wanting to buy into it, rather look for my options to sell it. Or trade what the market's doing. Don't assume or try to push it. Exactly. 100%. 100% I agree to that. That's all you can do as a trader. Have your plan, have your edge, have strategy, whatever you like to call it, and just trade it if it presents. And if not, it's just one of those days where you didn't get your opportunity. Again, once again, guys, thank you all the followers on TikTok. It's a sell, the voice in my head. Again, could be. I have to wait though. I've got to wait 8 minutes. Meantime, GJ still not really up to much. GU back in the news, not really doing much as well. Could be some potential GU buys above this resistance. We have tapped into a support. That's the most recent swing point that we've created on the move down. We've obviously tapped right back in this candle, only to reject. Not sure if you got the margin, but it could be the early opportunity. There's no margin at all. Your next option on GU is potentially above 1.2230 roughly. Quickly looking at EU is looking pretty good, but is it just grabbing some more liquidity in order to head back down? So how to determine whether that's to be the case or not is simply by waiting for the candle to first of all close above, and I on the majors would prefer to wait for a 30-minute. It's just a stronger confirmation than the 15. If you're comfortable with the 15 on the majors, then so be it. But what I like to do, and probably one of the only ways you can, you know, try to avoid a fake out, is if you first of all wait for it to close above, for it to pull back to retest the zone it's broken out of, and as soon as it does it, you set your buy stop just above the Catalyst counters high, and if it bounces off, what is high probabilities, the higher probability is that it's going to break above, tag you into your entry, and with the clean traffic to the left, give you enough to secure some pips. If it doesn't retest it, pop up, then come back down to retest, and then you could be stuck in drawdown. So you want to see it retest, because it may not hold and it may pop back below, and no problem, you're not involved in the trade. You could potentially look for sells if that's the case. That's EU. EU's looking pretty good. You're a CAD, bit of a choppy mess. Look at EJ, same as GJ. This sort of pattern with price action, with slow trickle up with very little volume in all these candles, are often met by a bit of a waterfall in line with the actual, obviously, in the structure. So maybe once the volume comes in, that is what could eventuate. So an EJ, we've recently formed support at this point here. That would be the level I'd probably look to try to get involved in some sell options. We are tapping into some previous support, a little bit more room up to the resistance though, so it could potentially come up a little bit higher. But EJ is looking pretty good for some potential sells moving forward. And GCAD looks nasty, so yeah, let's keep an eye on gold, guys. 5 minutes left of this M15. We potentially could have some options to sell it. Paul, I wish you were on here more often. Yeah, once a day is plenty for me. Seems Gbpjpy don't like anyone who's betting. I appreciate you, mate. Appreciate the support. Oh, really do. Jay Smith, I am in NAS and S&P buys and futures and indices. Okay. Wow. I'm assuming S&P would be the same. NAS is flying. So you're looking good, mate. Yeah, they're both looking good. Nice breakouts, nice clean moves. So well done. Four minutes, guys. So we want to close below the blue zone. Fairy dust, I'm gonna be very careful, because this is what ticked the algo off last time to ban me on TikTok, answering questions like that. Fair question though. Well, to execute trades, it's, I mean, brokers use TradingView. MetaTrader, sorry. Some use TradingView. Jay Smith, all good, mate. Yeah, so I use TradingView to chart because it's just easier. MetaTrader's a right ball pain in the backside to chart on, I believe. But MetaTrader, so obviously you need to determine what broker you want to use, and that will provide you links to download their terminals to trade, and yeah, the majority will be using MetaTrader or C-Trader. Took 10. This is TradingView. It's a free app. It's for free. So thank you for the follows, guys. Appreciate it. All right, so gold popping up at the moment, so it doesn't look like it could be ready to sell off just yet. And it may not sell off whatsoever. Could continue up, and that's fine. Got a plan for the buys, but it's just not ready for that just yet. And we'll see if it heads up to 26 or 2700 flat, roughly 2701, and how price reacts to that level for maybe some sells from higher up. Yeetus, unfortunately, none. I did have quite a fair bit of it a couple years back, XRP, but my crypto stories are haunting for me anyway. For the average person, they're quite funny, but for me, they're not. You got 3,800. It's not too late. That's nice, brother. Yeah, see, that was buying it when it was like 40 cents in that. So to me, it's a little bit too late to be buying it at $2.30 or whatever it is just now. Again, it could easily continue up, but yeah, I feel like I'm a tad late to the party. Amine, thank you for the follow. Josh, I'm sure 2705 is a strong resistance zone. 2705. What do we got? 2705. As far as previous support, yeah, look, it could definitely react to that level. Potentially. Still got some margin though. Still got 30 pips or so above the current weekly high if it did reject that point. And also, again, it could pop up to 2720. That would be a target above the highs where we could potentially pull up and retest that. Is that last week's high? Or no, that was towards the end of last year. I think it was last monthly high, I think. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Alright, so the 15 is closing, and it's closing strong bullish. It's not quite engulfing. So at the moment, there's not much on gold. Need to wait and again reassess. So perhaps if this candle closes back strong bearish near the lows of the current, the previous 15, engulfing even better, and there could be options to sell it. But right now, there's just got to sit and chill. Trading market, why not buying? Because I feel it's a bit late to buying it into resistance. If you're looking to buy it, you probably need to bought it from somewhere down here, with the confidence that it's just going to burst through some of this resistance, which it did. So I feel it's a little bit late to buy it just now. Buying it into 4-hour resistance means at it just now, to be honest. Sorry, missed. What have I missed? TikTok. Gonna boom 20th, and I called today's boom too. Well done. Should be 40 to 60 AD by April. And fair projection, isn't it? Well, for 1K sticks, you will trust me. My next tip. Yeah. Some lofty targets, but I wish you luck. Gbpjpy sell at 2710. Yeah, that again, that's way off. So I'm not bothered if it happens, and you know, on the charts, and I get an option to sell from that point or whatever. Yeah, for sure. But right now, I'm way too far off that to worry about it. Solomon TP, yeah, might continue going up. Looks like it's going to fill the 30-minute fair value gap and continue. Okay, fair value gap. So yeah, no, I don't trade it. I understand it. I just don't trade it. So for me, it's just pure, comes down to pure plain and simple price action at levels signals. So right now, there's no impulse entry. There's no upper wick. The previous count was too strong of a bullish candle. The rule was I wanted this count to close below the blue zone, which it obviously did not do so. Very impulsive to get involved in sells just now, but my signal would be a strong bearish closure engulfing. Back to matter is we've still got 12 minutes left, so I could do anything in the next 12 minutes. Edward. That's how, if it is Edward. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Edward, maybe. The news for USD were good. It should gold go down. More likely, but it's not always the case of late. A lot of it's, for the most part, gold and the US dollar have been moving in the same direction. I spoke about this on the YouTube stream yesterday. How a lot of people will always refer to Dixie when they're trading gold. I don't think it's necessary. Not for a scalper anyway. Plus, what you find is of late, they've both been in a general higher time frame uptrend. So very tricky trying to use that as inversely, inverse correlation when they're both in big uptrends. So I tend to stick to just looking at gold chart. Formed a bit of a liquidity grab. So in this situation, when we break the low, then pull back up to break the high, it's likely going to make a bit of a move. But again, I just don't have the margin. It is extremely impulsive, and that is the kind of trades that have been getting wrecked a lot of late. So on gold, you really need to be patient and wait for closures. Alchemist, this is gold. I see. I hope you didn't sell it just now. Dream, no, look, if you guys want, you can. But for me, it's nothing at the moment. Paul, you got a quick cheeky sell. Hope you're doing okay with that. Oh, I'm liking this music. No wonder. Yeah, definitely gonna get a strike this time. I didn't realize I didn't loop it. Sorry, guys. Well, not that you guys would care. Yeah, definitely gonna need a copyright strike for it on YouTube. All good. Let's fix that music. All good. So it's buy, huh? Right now it's nothing for me. Simple. You can't, the one thing I gotta stress, guys, you can't always be involved in a trade. I mean, you can. There's nothing saying you can't press the button and open and buy or sell. But from experience, one thing I'll tell you, you don't always need to be involved. You need to, or you should be looking to get involved at the right moment. Now, how to determine whether it's the right moment or not, you should have all the data in your journal to back you up, and a track record, which would, suggest that maybe you're right 60, 70, 80% of the time. And that's how you know when you see something familiar based off your previous data. That would suggest that maybe it's the right time to enter. For me, I don't have anything just yet. So it means I need to just simply kick back and wait. Dream Air, what confluences are we waiting for? Well, right now we'll form some support. We're not yet confirmed the support just here. But you could draw that in, that's the zone. If we close below it, then that would be enough to suggest that we've got the confirmation, decent enough confirmation. Look for a sell on rejecting this resistance. We've finally tapped into it. And for the buys, the closure above, retest, continuation. Great, gold has been cut through this week. Yeah, it's been a tricky one, hasn't it? All in and out. Okay, mate. I hope you managed to secure on that little in and out. But this is typical of gold all week. That's wind. I already sell. Okay. Again, I'm a extremely patient trader, guys, because your motto, patience pays. It does if you are willing to wait for the right moment to enter the markets. And that is by far the hardest part of trading, is just simply waiting. That's why it's easier to do if you're within a group, or if you're watching, for instance, a live stream. If you find that you might be getting a little bit of FOMO, or, you know, itchy fingers, and you always want to take a trade, sometimes it helps to be around others. Thank you for all the follows. Paul, do you do long time frame trades? You did? Nice one. Good work. So you did secure something. Wait for your moment. Exactly. No, but it's something I'm looking into a little bit more. I mean, obviously I started as a swing trader, but it just wasn't for me. I've mentioned it many times. You know why? Waking up at night, checking the position, and finding it hard to sleep after it. So I'd rather be in, you know, on the charts when I've got trades open. But I'm looking into it. Obviously, limit orders at certain levels and just rolling for much wider stop loss, smaller lot size, wider target. Just seeing how it fares. Maybe even using the 4 hour more for longer term trades again, and not really interfering with it in regards to cutting it short. Having some really strict rules as to, you know, when to TP and things like that. But that it requires testing, and that's something I've not really done, to be honest. So eventually it will be done. All right, so look at this. So 5 minutes remaining, guys. We need that closure below. We are currently rejecting, potentially closing back below the range where we've just come from. So just 5 minutes. We could have some potential options to look for a sell. I could have my catalyst. Beats, this is around the open of the day. MY midnight open. That often works as a magnet. A lot of liquidity. Okay, nice one. Well, I'll take small win at any day. Then yeah, exactly. Don't go broke taking profits. Beats, waiting for London open and see where it goes. Yep, we've got that coming in a bit minutes. Charlie CJ will we sell after the resistance. Yeah, we wait and see. 4 and a bit minutes. Guys, I'll be back in just 1 minute. Alright, going back. Gold is bouncing back up, so we're kind of just ping-ponging between his previous resistance and the highest for the 4 hour resistance just there, so it's a bit indecisive at the moment. So again, hence why we need to patiently wait for closures. If you've taken an impulse entry and a break of the support, you'd be stuck in some significant drawdown. If you took an impulse entry and a break of that previous bullish candle's high, it has since rejected the resistance and flipped back bearish, and obviously now it's falling bullish again. So it's very indecisive at the moment, just requires patience. Let's quickly look at GJ. All right, but GJ close above. Let's see. GJ's looking good. There could be options on GJ for session open. Got 2 minutes remaining. We want it to close very strong. Now, the concern is it is in a downtrend, guys. So my only concern is without the closure above, that London Open could just grab the liquidity. The news came out probably worse than what was to be expected. And then it begins to make that move down again in line with the structure. That is my one concern. So I'd really like for it to pop up and close above at this point. Thank you once again for all the follows, guys, on TikTok. Appreciate it. Oh, I got too busy typing, missed another. I've done that before, mate. I've done that. Looking at charts and looking at other pairs and then missing the move. Trading market, GJ, yeah. Alright, so let's see. I mean, it definitely needs to close above 50% from the open of the zone, the low of the zone to the high. That will be a very strong close. And it could come down to price action. So this rate, it may not qualify, to be honest, to be a valid entry. It's like it could close below it. Yeah, so there's nothing on gold. Just watch GJ for coming to the open. Let's see if we can manufacture something. Alright, so 10 seconds remaining until session open, guys. Yeah, so it's not the best close. It's closed just above the bodies to the left. It's closed below 50% of that zone. So I mean, simple price action, what I'd be looking for is, and this would be just based off the actual entry candle itself, what I'd like to see is this candle break or push up to the high of the resistance without creating a lower wick, and then wait patiently for it to pull back to create a bit of a lower wick. And if it does so, it's not a bad option to get involved in a buy as it re-breaks zone high again. Definitely not interested in buying it without the lower wick. But first minute in, is it just grabbing a little bit of liquidity for it to come back down? What's gold doing at the open? Not much. For the most part this week, gold has been trashed during London session. It just has not moved. The move tends to come prior to it and then it just consolidates. Alright, my thoughts on GU. Had a look at it before. Very tricky at the moment. Preferring the buys above 122.313. It's bouncing at a 4-hour support. That's the most recent swing point that we formed at the support, so that will become the level where I'll get involved in buys if it did close above. Very difficult selling is selling it into support, so it's, yeah. The only way I consider selling it popped up higher and rejected, maybe even 122, 450, 460. Buy gold, Samil. Well, one thing I've learned is you won't make $1 million on one trade, but if you pick up the crumbs, you'll do well. Yeah. That's a good point. You gotta have a massive account to be making 1 million on a trade. Seen it before. Seen it on people's and legitimate. That's a swing trader. Alright, so GJ rejecting just now. So I'm gonna leave it for the time being. Double top on the 15-minute as well. potentially in a 30. Bob's not doing anything on GJ at the moment. I don't have a confirmation to sell it because we closed bullish on a previous candle. Nor do I really have a confirmation to buy it, but it would make more sense now if it did flip and break its own high to look for a potential buy. Just would have wanted this to close a little bit stronger. So gold, it all comes down to now this area we're stuck within. So between the highs and the resistance and the support which is created, we're currently just consolidating. So just need to see that closure below if I'm to look for a sell. And for the buyers, I need to see price pop above, retest, and then continuation. It's just in a not, in my opinion, not a tradable area at the moment. Just requires patience. Buy GJ. Yeah, I can see options to buy it if it does flip and break its own high, but not just yet. YouTube guys, let's get those likes up a bit if we could. So GJ rejecting, all good. All right, let's quickly scope. Let's have a look at the other pairs. GU still below resistance, not at a level for me to get involved. Sorry, it's onto EU. All right, EU potentially. EU looking good. What I like about EU is also we've just formed support on the 15-minute below the resistance. So we have entry points for both the buys and sells just now. I would say if we start to close below 102.930 roughly, there could be some nice options to sell EU. And if obviously it starts to close above the resistance, there's going to be options to buy it. So EU is closing in on a potential entry. Not ready just yet. AU. Nice bounce off the support. Yeah, so in AU, I'd be looking for sells. It is showing signs of exhaustion, to be honest. Is there no minus support yet at 15? But I mean, if you had a nice strong bearish engulfing candle creeping into the market now, then that'd be your catalyst to sell it. Otherwise, it just pull back a bit, break that resistance, and then begin to break above it. Then you're creating that high low, high high scenario. Can be some options to buy it. EuroCAD, still a slow trickle into some clean traffic. Would not feel comfortable, to be honest. EJ looking good too. EJ looking real good. So entry points for EJ, if it closes below 160.58, EJ is looking very, very nice for a sell. So that's one to keep an eye on for those who do trade it, and GCAD, forget it. All right, strong rejection on GJ. And it's market's moving without really giving me any sort of confirmation at the moment, so it's all good. Or can I press play once? Probably press them all if you could. I appreciate it, really do. Hit like button, yep, it'd be much appreciated. No one's hit it since I asked, so all good. Rosala, thank you for sharing a live, appreciate it. See, the thing is with a lot of people who are, in general, who are especially new to trading and, you know, also come to these streams at times, they see the, you know, obviously what trading can bring and what it can lead to. They also come off the opinion that you should be involved in a trade pretty much at all times. That right now we can sell it, can't we? Or right now we can buy it, can't we? Whereas they don't really realize or understand the importance of having a plan and some rules and being patient and then execute according to what you see, reacting to what the market prints in front of your eyes. Because the fact of the matter is, I can't just, right, I think it's going to sell off here, so I'm just going to sell it. I need to wait for a confirmation. Right now, be moving without me, and I just need to accept it. It happens a lot. But from the early parts of what I've seen this year, definitely need to wait for closures. Jackie, thank you for the follow. Excuse me. I like this tune. This is a good tune. Paul, oh god, no wait for opportunity, but the silly people won't and wonder why they got burnt. Everyone has done that. I remember the first early part of my trading career was similar, but then again I was swing trading, so it was rather boring waiting to actually take another trade. But I must admit, when I actually come across scalping, I was a little like that, thinking, right, this cow's closing bullish, it's like there's a bit of room. I've drawn in some zones and things. That means I can just buy it. Simple as that. But I soon realized it ain't necessarily that simple, is it? I understand it's exhilarating, the feeling of being in a trade, especially when it's a winning trade. But once you've got a lot more experience, you really appreciate and understand the importance of being patient. Charlie CJ, thank you for the follow. So gold looks like it's coming up a bit. All right, so technically now it's pretty much tapping into the 50% of the 4-hour zone. It's a tricky one actually, because it's a bullish counter high. So for me, the actual limit order sell is not really going to be valid. Reason being is because it's not a clearly defined 4-hour level of resistance. The actual resistance itself in the 4-hour, the way I determine it is this point here, because I look at the highest point of any bearish candle. But when I go down to the 30, we can see we've got some resistance just here. So again, I can't just buy it into that level. So I don't have the margin to do so. But the limit order is also not valid limit order sell, because it's hard to define the 4-hour level of resistance. So if I had it, then potentially, I mean, for instance, good examples here, this is an easy to define level of support where you could just wait for price to come a little bit lower down and potentially set a limit order buy at 50% of the zone, and that works very, very well for me. So guys, coming on the daily, guys on obviously YouTube and TikTok, what you get is quality education. It's for free. I do take trades when I see fit, when they're there to be taken. But again, so it's free education, so it's in your own interest. Or if you just want to chill with other people trading at the same time, so it's not as boring, by all means. What is, I have no idea what all this stuff is on TikTok. Subscriptions, team. You're all part of the team. Bruce, what time frame? This is the 30, but as I mentioned before, on gold I go down to as low as the 5-minute. But again, we're out of resistance, so there is nothing for me just yet. But for the most part, I stick to the 30 and the 15 on gold. GJ, it's similar. More Catalyst is more on the 30 though on GJ. Gatekeepers, see GJ. Yeah, it's dropping. So again, didn't have any confirmation for me to that was going to happen, so I just simply couldn't get involved. Get involved just now, you've got no margin. You're at some support here in the 15. So what that means, I just need to reassess. So once again, like I mentioned earlier, if we come back down to create that equal low or higher low, we potentially could look for this buys from lower down, and for further sells, it's either going to pop back up to reject the same sort of level, or it's going to come back down to support, start to close below it for continuation sales below current daily candles low. Andy, thank you for the follow. Rumble, I've heard of Rumble, but I've never actually checked it out before, but it could be worthwhile. Whereabouts are you from, mate? In Oz, by the way. I don't think I've ever asked. If I have, apologies, I've forgotten. Jared, yeah, most certainly I can check AU. Yeah, so I mentioned it before. AU, I would prefer to look for the sell, so it's a bit of a slow trickle back up. It's been in a big downtrend. I know the 30 minutes technically bullish in structure at the moment though, but that has flipped. So what I'd be doing is looking to see if we form some minor support, for instance, just here in a 15, closing the M30 back bearish, would be potential entries for a sell. At that point, you could say we're rejecting some of this support to the left. We're also breaking a minor support formed on the 15-minute time frame. So for instance, if this candle was to close as is, what I'd be doing is waiting for the new candle to open up, break up a wick, begin to break below this pause candle, and that could be your potential entry. At the moment, the only other option is if it continues to drop. For me, I mean, it doesn't mean there's no other options, but the way I trade, my other signal within price action would be a bearish engulfing candle on the 30. If that was to eventuate, it's a strong signal as well to suggest maybe you're rejecting some of this previous support and could be ready to head back down towards the daily candles low. So, and on the flip side to that, if we do form that resistance just now and just consolidate a bit, we start to pop above the consolidation, and again, it could be just a higher low forming, and we could be ready to head back up, clean traffic to the left. Let's look at the 4 hour to see what's going on. So let's just say this 4 hour closes bullish, and then that sort of scenario happens within the next 4 hour candle where we're consolidating, creating the low wick, and we maybe create that higher low and begin to break above what is the current 4 hour candle's high. and that would also add confluence for the potential option of buy it, take it back up towards the current daily counters high. So that's what I'd be looking at on AU. The way it's forming just now, I'd be waiting 12 minutes. It's under 12 minutes and waiting to see if this candle closed bearish engulfing. And for me personally, it would be a strong enough signal if I was to trade AU to potentially sell it. And it's just free education. That's the type of signal within price action I look for. So yeah, see how it plays out, and I wish you the best of luck if you are to be trading it. I was asking where you're from, man. What state? Jared, all good, mate. All good. Bruce, when I'm on YouTube just now, so I'm on YouTube at the same time. It's just TikTok. I get bans for whatever reason. I got banned for the past, since, was it Monday or Tuesday? So if you can't find me on TikTok, because I could lose the channel. I already lost the channel once, and I think after like 90 days or 160 to something like that, they reinstate your channel. I didn't even realize it, but they did. So if I get another ban or two, I think they're gonna again ban my channel. So if you can't find me, look me up on YouTube, the same, under the same name, A.C.T. Forex, A.C.T. Forex. It's in my profile as well, guys, on the TikTok profile. Thank you for all the follows. Bruce, all good. Charlie, check gold. Oh, moving. All right. Interesting times. Could we have a buy now on, again, not within this current 30, but potentially on the next? So first things first, for impulse entries, let's mark this in. Has to close above 50%, so above that point there. Now, we could get limit order entries as well, guys. If this thing just closes a little bit too strong. The issue of the limit order has to be the, all right, so it's 30 is a bearish candle. So to qualify for a limit order buy, this will need to close about 8 to 10 pips above the high. And at the moment, we're about 8 pips above. So it pretty much has to close around that point there. And if it does so, then what I might do is set a buy limit back at the high of the resistance. Now, what would be really nice to see is within this 30-minute candle, so on the 5-minute time frame now, this candle closed bullish, followed by the next one closing back looking somewhat like so, and retesting that zone, because at that point we're still going to 30 closing above the resistance, which is the level we want it to close above. And within the 30-minute candle, we've had a 5-minute candle closing back in the opposite direction and retesting that zone. Then what I'd be looking for in a new M30 candle is just a tiny bit of a lower wick, a bit of, just has to have a lower wick. Doesn't necessarily need to pull the way back yet again, because we've already done so within the 30-minute candle, the catalyst candle. And if it begins to break, that's where the entry potentially could be taken. So that's something you can keep a little bit of an eye on. And if that doesn't happen, I'd probably prefer to see the new candle pull back to tap in and then set a buy stop. Oh, New South Wales. Okay, mate. Yeah, so just north of where I am, obviously. Frank, can you CAD buy scalp up to 143797? You can. Is this the Frank from up in Queensland? Not sure if it's the same one. 1.43797. It's looking good. If you took it, for instance, if you took it just here, then I mean, you're looking really good. You took it just there, it still made sense, but coming from afar, maybe off the 15 you took it, so I can understand that. It triggering out the wicks, but again, doesn't mean it can't make the move. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. I think that's pretty much your target. It is, Frank. Nice one. Appreciate the support, mate. Yeah, so it's looking pretty good. Wouldn't want to take a loss from there, so just personally I'd be already managing it. All right, so back to gold, guys. Looking at gold buys, going a bit late. What is happening? Gold rising. Yeah, it's continuing up. Gold, just doing what gold does. It's a beast. So we can look for options to potentially buy at this point. It makes more sense. Thank you for all the follows. All right, gotta wait just over 5 minutes. So let's look at it now in the 5 minute. All right, so we want this candle to close above. All right, so potentially got the first little tick playing out. All right, gold looking good. One issue will be stop loss. So what you're probably going to need to do is just ride with a wider stop loss, have a bit of a wider target. Yeah, it's a tough one because the stop loss is back below that level, and it just depends. The limit order will give us some better stop loss. Stop loss will be about 25 pips roughly. If it's a continuation buy, you're looking at well over 30 pips based on 15. Bruce, you choose, but yeah, no problem, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, YouTube, you get the full screen and everything, so yeah, that's just in the States, isn't it? But who knows, because we tend to follow suit anything that happens over there anyway, so yeah. But I do suggest hopping across to the YouTube stream. Don't have to do it today, but I do suggest after the stream making sure to click on a link under my profile, and yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If I'm taken down from TikTok, you guys know where to find me. FX Spectre, nice one. Yeah, you said it. So yeah, here I am just patiently waiting for confirmation. So we're retesting now. Really want this thing to flip a bit, and we'll flip and close at this rate, close back either weak bearish or closer to its high, to be honest. We definitely need the closure above, because I've just how often I've seen gold since coming back this year look like it's about to break out, and then it just dies, completely drops back in the opposite direction. It's done it many a time. So I want to wait for the closure above, and that would be enough for me to plan for a buy on the following M30/15. Quickly look at GJ. We're back at support, so it's got to let it do its thing for the time being. Frank, nice one, good work. Yeah, it's pretty clean, so good work. So it all comes down to it's a goal in the next minute 45 seconds. And the way it's currently rejecting, looks like we may be out of luck for potential gold buys at the moment. FX Spectre, no live. I've had a fun account. I've had bad experience, more really bad experience. I've mentioned it multiple times. I had a 300k account, was due a payout, and some bullshit reason they got back to me. Well, actually, I found something on the account which is really strange, so I questioned them and they said it's all good, I'll fix it. And in the meantime, I couldn't access my trading account whatsoever. And yeah, just shit hit the fan. So after a while, I determined I had hard breached it for lack of activity, which was on their behalf because I couldn't access the account. It was just a shit show. 300k account it was too, so. You're on Apex? Okay. Heard of that. Is it a good one? Travis, this is the gold coin. This is gold, my friend. And it's not closing above, so it's rejecting again. It's a tough one. Grabbing that liquidity from the upside, and at the moment doesn't look like it is ready to continue. It doesn't mean it can't continue, but I don't have the right confirmation to take the buy. Got to travel too fast. It's closed above that 50%, but we've also broken out within the catalyst this candle, and we've ended up closing back below the high of the resistance. So it's a tricky one because just to get involved, you got to travel some 20 pips, and that wick to me suggests potential that we have maybe just grabbed liquidity from the upside. We may need to pull back a little bit more before we head up again. After the moment, yeah, but heard that some people with the knife draw, yeah. I mean, I think that's with all prop firms. It's just that, you know, luck of the draw, I suppose. Hit or miss whether you're actually going to get your payout or not. But yeah, I've had a bad experience, so I'm a bit put off. Probably will give it another crack at some time, but it's just exhausting when you know, draw a payout and nothing happens, and it's so exhausting. Really frustrating. Alright, so we're pulling back on gold. Not going to get an entry, guys, unfortunately, for the time being. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to personally go make myself some dinner. But what I would be looking for moving forward, so this is okay, because what we've done, I mean, now what you could do is remove that, and what we can see is we create a clean move up. And so we've created some clean traffic. Now we go down to the 15-minute again. Recently formed support at that point there. So I would say for the sells, I'd be looking for, excuse me, close below 26.97 or some sell options. I want to at least wait for a minimum 15-minute candle close. Buys are going to be tricky from above this support. You don't quite have the margin by the looks of it. So for the buys, you're still probably looking at buys above the high, but need a closure. You really need to be patient and wait for a closure. Buys above the high, otherwise buys from lower down, guys. If it does just melt. And GJ, it's at support. Let it form a bit of structure before considering buying it. So you may get a signal candle, and what I mean by that is you first of all want the 30 minutes close back bullish, but within it, if you have a candle closing back bearish like so, the current candle, want it to preferably to tap in, and if it was to be followed by a bullish engulfing candle on the next M15, I'm going to close the M30 a bullish candle looking a little bit like so, bouncing off the support, then there could be a potential option to buy it as it begins to break the candles high. So again, those who watch me on the regular will understand what I mean by signal candles. That's probably more the YouTube guys. So you could be looking for one of those to present at the current level on GJ. but otherwise just be patient with it. Buys still above 199.40 and sells below the current daily candles low also look to be a good option for the time being. Members, I will keep a little bit of an eye on things while I make dinner from my phone, just to see if anything presents. I'll do an update, market update later on. Yeah, and the rest of you, I will see you all on stream again tomorrow. Appreciate you all. Thank you for all the new followers on TikTok, and to anyone who's subscribed on YouTube as well. If you could, make sure you like button the way out, YouTube guys. And appreciate all the support as per usual. Beyond tomorrow, same time, same place on both TikTok, YouTube. Till then, guys, trade safe. Cheers. Catch you. Cheers, guys. Bye.